Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Enrico De Castro, and you are tuning in to the What's in Your Case podcast. Our guest is the founder of Blank Story. Blank Story is a line of merchandise, stationery, and art that blends her skills with fashion and illustrative storytelling. She is the co-founder of the Pop-Up Lofts, as well as an art teacher. Hello and welcome, my friend, Ruby.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So you have a shop called Blank Story Official. You sell apparel, bookmarks,
Yes.
prints, stickers, pins, and recently added crystal jewelry. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, that's it so far.
And how long have you been vending for?
I've been vending since 2020, so right at the start of the pandemic, pretty much.
And what really motivated you to start selling your art?
What motivated me to start selling my art is just getting out there and meeting people, and really, I wanted to share my art, which is something I didn't really do when I was in college. We have all of these avenues now for sharing, like the internet and social media, and I just wanted to get out there and meet people and take advantage of that.
For a short period of time, I was one of your brand ambassadors.
Yes.
What's it like for you to work with different ambassadors for your brand?
I love being able to incorporate, my friends and people in the community into my brand and be able to have them share my brand. It's fun partnership to incorporate all of my friends into it. And you did a great job as my ambassador, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What do you look for exactly in an ambassador?
Someone who is able to wear my merchandise and apparel and to just show it off and share it with people. You don't even really need to have social media, but if you do, that's a great plus. So
Are you currently taking submissions for brand ambassadors at this time?
I am starting submissions or applications for brand ambassador. This is right before springtime when I start coming out with new merchandise and stuff. So this is the perfect time to start applying for brand ambassador.
So you're also the co-founder of the Pop-Up Loft.
Yes.
What exactly is the Pop-Up Lofts?
So the Pop-Up Loft is a space where different businesses can come and share what it is that they create and what they do. We invite different creators, artists, shop owners, bakers, food vendors. So it's a fun space for everyone to just share what it is that makes their business special.
And that's where you teach your art classes?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I also teach my art classes. I teach kids. I do paint parties for adults, and I do workshops and teach online as well.
What kind of events do you guys do at the Pop-Up Lofts?
We had a self-care night, which was really cool. We had someone come out and do sound healing, yoga sound healing with us, which was really nice. We had some of the crystal vendors come out. And a couple of other vendors. We had creams and body butters, all kinds of just self-care, self-healing vibe. That's kind of what we did for that night, which was really cool. And we also had an art show where I invited out my students to come. I invited out local artists to come and share their work also. So that's a few of the events that we've done so far, which is nice.
Now, you've described your art as bright, eye-catching hues along with distinct lines reminiscent of woodblock prints, manga, or retro illustrations.
Yes.
What are some things that inspire your art?
I definitely have a lot of Asian inspiration, Asian influence in my art. I love Japanese culture, tend to draw a lot of cherry blossoms and landscapes, nature, that sort of thing. I love street fashion and kind of like that street culture as well. So I incorporate a lot of that into my art and my apparel. Storytelling gets incorporated a lot into it. I've been developing a comic for the longest time and it hasn't released yet. I've pretty much just shared my characters so far, but I try to incorporate my characters into my apparel and my merchandise and then vice versa. So sometimes I'll do my characters wearing my apparel. Yeah.
Speaking of your characters, I know you have several OCs or original characters. There is Lola Schultz.
Yes.
Cole Nakamura. And then Penelope the Space Chicken.
Yes.
How did these characters come to be?
These characters, actually, my niece helped me come up with the idea for these characters. So Lola is loosely based on my niece. Her features are kind of similar to how she looks. And then Cole was based on her friend in school, so one of her best friends. And, they would just have all these mixed adventures and stuff. And so she told me like, oh yeah, you could come up with these characters for your comic. And then I just kind of went from there with it. Penelope came about because I don't even know. She was completely random.
Now, you've released 2 mood boards about these characters.
Mm-hmm.
One for Lola and one for Cole. Do you think we're going to get one for Penelope?
I do. Yeah, spoiler, I have one for Penelope in the works. I haven't posted that yet, but her mood board is definitely going to be interesting, I think, and unexpected. So look out for that.
Now, I know you've taken classes for children book illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Making children books, is that a passion of yours?
It is. Going off of Blank Story and my comic and storytelling, I've always wanted to create my own children's book. That way I could share with, some of the kids that I teach. I used to teach preschool, so I've worked with kids a lot. I've worked with kids in dance. I currently teach my kids in dance. So along with art and dance, I'm always around that kind of age. And so I feel like making a children's book and be able to connect on that level would be really cool.
There was a post about a book, Bao the Wild Corgi. That's not available for reading.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That was like a kind of prerequisite to what might be later on. So yeah, Bao is my dog. So yeah, I have a corgi at home. His name is Bao, and he influenced that character. So I've made some stationery for Bao, but he has yet to appear in one of my books. That was actually one of the projects that I was working on while I was in school, so hopefully that will come to fruition later on.
And what would you say to someone interested in pursuing their art in the way that you've pursued your art?
I would say to just create and keep creating. Like, one of my things that I always put on my merchandise, or I have put on my merchandise, is to keep creating, keep blooming. It's kind of the idea of continue to grow, because I feel like no matter if you feel like you're at a good stage when it comes to your art and your creation, you always have room to grow and develop, whether it's your style or your goals. Like, I feel like there's always room to see what else is out there and to branch out, but you can only do that if you share with others what you're creating. So I feel like not being scared to share that is kind of the best advice that I could give. Because it took a while for me to share my art. I was really shy with my art growing up in school and high school, and everyone kind of knew that I was an artist, but they hadn't really seen that themselves until I allowed myself to start sharing that on social media and then with friends and then other creatives in the community.
Thank you for being our guest here at the What's in Your Case podcast. Do you have anything you'd like to promote? Tell the listeners where they can find you online.
Yeah, you could find me on my Instagram at Ruby Went to Space. That's where I have all of my main art and my lifestyle content. And you can also follow me on Blank Story Official, my Instagram, for my shop page, and the pop-up block where I do events, local events, and you can find out about my art classes. You can also come and check out my work at the Bloom Festival. I'll be there on April 16th.